Hello, 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 hello. Hey guys, we're gonna start with some speaking. I can see about 1% of the people who are here, so hopefully you can hear me. If everyone can grab your drink, finish up your order, quiet down in the back, pass it backward, that'd be great. All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Wow, this guy is loved. Let's all just round of applause really quickly. I need to get my butterflies out. Let's give it up. Give it up. Thank you all so much for being here today to celebrate the incredible life of Broderick Adé Hogue. Our guy. Adé was a very special part of many communities, sharing his joy among fellow creatives, fellow cyclists, and those of us who are neither creative nor good at cycling. Thanks for laughing, I needed that. He created close friendships that span literally. And on behalf of his Chicago family, thank you all for being here from near and far. It really means a lot. My name is Robin. Always Robs to Adé, always. What's up, Robs? And I feel so fortunate to be among his Chicago family. We met in 2015 at Weber Shandwick. Give it up, Weber Shandwick people. Heck yes. We quickly formed a mutual respect and then a love for one another that included a lot of coming to America quotes. What is that, Velvet? And bright floral fashion. Blazer Fridays, representing. So here's a quick story. Adé used to roam the hallways of Weber Shandwick, looking for any flowers that a bunch of PR ladies were getting from their dates. He would be stalking them because he wanted to take them, rip them up, and make art. I realized how much I cared for this dude when I started bringing flowers in from secret admirers, just so I could see him smile and get fresh flowers. It was the beginning of a favorite friendship. He was just really fun to be around. And I felt at ease whenever we were together. Representing us all, I feel so lucky, as I know all of you do, for the special memories I've collected while spending time with Adé. He enriched our lives with his never-ending curiosity for adventure, his intelligence and desire to learn about the most random topics. He became an expert in really cool stuff. His impeccable style, the bow tie, the flowers, his fierce Monopoly deal skills. I have North Carolina Ave in my pocket. We always fought over it. And you guys, his uncanny ability to get you off your couch and onto a dance floor. His infectious smile, and you guys, that laugh, though, that's what always got me. Can you hear it? When you saw that sparkle in his eye and his grin light up, you knew you were in for an adventure. I savored every moment that we had together because it was always genuine and meaningful. Even when he wasn't saying anything. That happened sometimes. It happened to us too, you guys. I had the pleasure of speaking with several of Adé's creative colleagues last night at his studio. Hearing about how respected he is among the creative community, alongside the stories about how he supported his fellow artists. Man, it filled my heart with pride. He was humble about his talent and about how he gave back to his community. The caliber of his character was exceptional, and I couldn't be more proud to be his friend. I only wish I would have told him that more, but I know his reply. Nah. It's been said many times and by many people over the past several weeks just how special Adé made them feel. He made you feel like magic. Vanessa and Ben, Zenobia, Bree, Cameron, and his entire family. Hi, Cam. Thank you so much for sharing him with us. There is no one who can bring the type of joy that Adé could, and we are committed to carrying his legacy and his story forward and keeping his light shining brightly. We can't wait to witness the lasting impact that his story is going to have. We're going to invite several of Adé's and Broderick's close friends to speak. We know everyone would want to. Representatives from his special communities. We are going to kick it off with one of his best buds, the one and only Chu.
Thank you. Mic check. Hello, hello. First of all, this is so awesome. What is going on? This is something that he would have loved to have been a part of. He is a part of it, though. He's static in the background. I love that. We're going to probably hear a lot of stories from one another, from people speaking up here about how great he is and all of his achievements. And we were all witnesses to just everything that he had done in his life. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm Chu. I was a studio mate / a really good friend for a while. I spent a lot of time with this kid. And I think the one common thread throughout everything that he has accomplished is two things, actually. One, it was just his conviction into doing whatever that thing was. He did it relentlessly, whether it was art, cycling, dead flowers. He did it so hard, and it was awesome. And the other thing is the people that he kept around with him. I think that's something I didn't necessarily realize at the moment. Day in and day out, he'd be sitting there next to me, be like, my friend Amelia, my friend Willie and Billy. I was like, are they the same people? I'm not exactly sure. I was like, brother, you do not have these many friends. You are lying to me. And sure enough, they existed. And they existed, like, ferociously in his life. He took that same sort of tenacity towards all of his relationships, and I think we all know that. It's these stories that he would share, and he really took the time when you were with him. He was real crap at texting back, but in the moment, and golly, in the moment, he would just say such wonderful things, and it was amazing. It was amazing. And that was really, I think, the overall theme throughout all these things. And I was nor a designer or cyclist or things, but I was just this guy that just like sort of worked next to him. We would always say studio mates and coworkers, yada, but we did not a lot of working. In fact, it was probably like the most awful couple ever. Shout out to Bailey for trying to straighten us out. I would consider ourselves successful. Yes. We're pretty good freelancers, but at the same time, you guys would not imagine how bad we were at managing our finances and legal documents. But we did it. It was great. Anyways, I am rambling. Thanks for coming out. This is just, again, so awesome to see. I wish there was better seating. I apologize for the people in the back. If maybe we can figure out a crouching situation. I don't know. Anyways, I made this video a couple nights ago. It was incredibly hard. It was also incredibly easy at the same time. I'm sorry for how sad it might be. I had started this video so many times, just trying to find the right songs. I felt like that was very crucial, and I had one going, and then Bailey reminded me of a time where just a couple weeks ago that a certain Beyonce song that you'll hear soon, he had said some ridiculous things to us, being like, well, if Beyonce has to remind people that she's here, like, what am I going to do? I was like, I think you'll be all right, brother. So with that said, I'll, I guess, play this video. This is just like a small glimpse into his life, which I think is just amazing. Like like literally like the last few years, I feel like these clips are mostly from, which already looks like a movie. He was lucky enough to have just me following around with a camera every now and then. So there's some shots like, what is that from? It was just for fun. So enjoy, just appreciate that smile and everything else, and cheers to y'all. I think more than anything else, like you just couldn't imagine what this looks like. And one special shout out to my fam over here. Hey guys, this is just a hello. Anyways, all right. What's up, Kim? I think the audio's gonna work. We'll find out.
And I feel like if you walk by
That's not hard to follow at all. Yep, I see him. He's making his way through the crowd. We're excited to have one of Adé's close friends and specialized colleagues, James, come to the stage next. Chu, give it up for Chu.
That is definitely a lot to follow. So I'm James, and I worked with Adé. We were both employed by the same company, which is Specialized Bicycle Components, and so we have a store in Lincoln Park, and this amazing team is here today. Adé was a part of that team from the start, and so I think we can unanimously agree that he was a really incredibly outstanding person, right? I think that generally, like our team at Specialized Lincoln Park, we just kind of have a little maybe different perception because we worked together, right? So I just want to share with you some of those moments that stuck out and stick with me. And I want to do that in a way that feels also respectful to the team because they also have their perceptions and thoughts and views. And I think this really just kind of like speaks to who Adé was. So when we opened the store back in June, the whole process was completely hands-on. Probably more so than I expected. I mean, hammering, building, a lot of that stuff. I was going through photos last night, and I didn't realize that there was going to be this here. Otherwise, I would have shared those photos. But the first exhibit that I came across was this picture of Adé, Sam, and Frank, 10 feet high in the air on this huge pallet racking, just building this and putting it together. And I mean, when you look at the picture, your first thought is, OSHA, what are you doing? But like I said, we were 100% hands-on with this entire build process. If I had another exhibit to share, it'd be up here. But it would be this really genuine photo I have of Adé singing happy birthday to Gary from the team with a lit cupcake, one candle, and just taking the whole show. And it was just a moment, you know, you just felt that. Another one, which would be Exhibit C, would be Adé racing kids' bikes through the store with kids. I mean, that's Adé. That's Adé. And it was beautiful to see. Adé, Sam, Raquel, just having a blast in the store. You guys, I'm going to try. Exhibit D would be Adé and his shoe game. Now, I understand, though, that the kids we're now calling them lemon pepper steppers, right? That means when your shoes are so fly, you wear them when you're going out to get lemon pepper wings. And Adé always rolled in with the flyest shoes. We really had so many special moments with Adé. He made us laugh. He made us think. He got us stoked with his energetic conversation. One of the things that I picked up on is you could visibly and physically feel when the excitement crept up. When the excitement crept up in Adé, the cadence of his breathing would change, right? He would get a little huffy like this. The movements would start happening, and then, you know, he was all across the room, and that's when you know you were going to be in for some stuff. You were going to be in for a conversation, and that's just one of the many moments that I will never forget with Adé. The last one that I want to share is just, it might seem kind of random, but, you know, Adé had the Friday morning ride. That was his thing, his jam, his baby. The whole crew put that together, and those awesome folks are here. But, you know, we have a very close-knit community, and I remember getting some feedback from some riders. And they said, hey, this thing, we have a problem with it. Can you fix it? Can we talk about it? And, you know, I approached Adé and we talked about this, and it was a very just short conversation, and I said, hey, here's some of the feedback that we're getting, and I know this is your thing, but I also know that you know how to make it right so that everybody's comfortable and having a good time. And he said, okay. And 1 week later, I saw the most eloquent post on Instagram completely summing up how to make it better. And that's when you just know, like, this guy, he gets it. He gets it. He's here for the people. He's about community. He's about people. And Adé really just exudes love. And those are just some of the points and some of the experiences that I wanted to share with you, especially from a work perspective, and let you know that Adé's forever going to be with us. He's forever going to be in that store. And I just wanted to share that. So thank you all.
Thank you, James. Next, we invite up Billy from Bad Bikes. Badass Bikes.
Testing. Hello. I've been feeling overwhelmingly positive for some weird reason for the last couple weeks, and I feel like it's because we've had the opportunity to meet so many just incredible people that have taught me things about my friend that I never knew. Parts of his life that I wasn't there for. So being in a room full of people like you guys, it's just been so wonderful, and I've had a really positive experience about it. I wanted to share my account of Adé as a cyclist. That's how we met each other. We tended to joke about how we never really hung out with each other in normal clothes. A lot of people, he didn't even recognize them if they weren't in their tights. So I met Adé a year ago, but just the quality of his friendship made it feel like it was so much more and so much longer than that. I mean, genuine moments with him were frequent, and you knew you were going to cherish them when they happened. We took so many pictures and videos, and I feel like that's why we did it. And I've never taken so many pictures and videos of another person in my life. It's the same with me, you know. And you saw the Choose collection. Just it's for some reason people love doing that for him. And just spending so much time with him is just absolutely wonderful. And I think, excuse me. It was a really unique time when I got to start spending time with them. I think he wanted to take a step back from being a designer and just find what I think was passion and purpose and happiness in general in his life. By the way, being with someone who's willing to have the courage to do that, to make such a serious change in their career and just spend time focusing on something else, that's an incredible thing to watch another person do, and I'm so thankful I was able to do that. And I feel incredibly blessed that he chose cycling. It's what we spent so much time doing with him, and this year, so far, he spent 400 hours on his bike. You know, I feel, yeah, seriously, and I feel like I was there for every single one of them. I mean, we took a cross-country trip to Seattle, and by the way, I'm sure you already know, he bought his flight for that like the week before. He bought a brand new bike the day before. We did dozens and dozens of races and group rides together, and him and I were always finishing mid-pack or in the back of the pack. I mean, we had more fun than anyone, so that's all that mattered. I think he was just so sincere and having so much fun on his bike, and that's what everybody loved about him. I remember when we started hanging out with him, maybe like 5 or 6 of us, he said, guys, listen, he said this politely, but he said, I'm not going to be contributing to this group chat. In fact, I'm not going to be reading any of these messages. He said that. He really said that. And fast forward maybe a month, and he would call us every day, 6 days of the week, to go out for a ride together. So we ended up winning him over, which is really wonderful. It was just such an awesome experience with him. And I think as competitive as a man that he was, I think lately he was really focused on not letting competition and goals define who he was, but instead he just wanted to slow down. And in fact, the way I'll remember him is the person who always wanted to kind of slow down the group ride. So if everyone was going too fast, he said, guys, just relax. Let's take it a little bit easier. And that worked only like half the time. But if the group took off without you and you were left behind, Adé was right next to you. And he was so focused on making sure that everyone was having fun and that everyone was okay. And so that's really something I learned from him was, he loved the ride so much more than the destination. The destination had to have a beer stop. That's the only rule. But he was all about the ride. And you always hear people say that so much, but he was someone who really actually incorporated that into his life. And I feel like I really did have the summer of my life with him, and just watching someone who's so passionate about something. And I mean, he started working at a bike shop. He rode his bike every day. I mean, we were spending so much time together, and just watching someone who's so passionate about what they do. It's a great learning experience, and to have friends like that you can watch and ask questions to and just be a part of their lives is so wonderful. So I'm so appreciative of that. And I think that, we might have gone to maybe half of the breweries in Chicago. Every time we passed a Culver's, we had to go for a bacon cheeseburger every time. Yeah, so I think I've been thinking about how I'll remember him. I feel like I'll remember him in so many ways, but surely at like some of the biggest events of our lives, we'll be thinking of him. But I really think even in the smallest memories and details, I think that's where he really found his purpose, and I think that's where I'll be thinking of him the most. I think I'll never look at a pin the same. I promise you that. But I really appreciate your time. I think it's so wonderful so many people are here and can share stories about him. I've never really, I don't get in a room too often where I don't know 99% of the people and then leave knowing almost all of them. So it's been so great. Thanks for letting me speak on behalf of our friend group. And if you want to see any of those videos and pictures we have of them, I'd love to share them with you guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Billy. I'm sad I did an intro. He was BB Rick. I think all of us know him. Most of us know him as that. I'm pleased to welcome Lisa Congdon up next. She is the designer of the beautiful limited edition pins that we're all sporting today. Lisa.
Hi, everyone. I can't see everyone in the back. I am the white lady walking around with a mullet and a very loud yellow dress. You cannot miss me. I'm so honored to be here and to be saying a few words. First, I want to express to Adé's family, cycling buddies, and best friends how much I grieve for you. Adé's departure from this earth is a tremendous loss for all of us, but especially for you. I met Adé through the lettering and design world, and eventually we became part of the same small agency of artists called Co-Loop, founded by Andy Miller and Ryan Appleton. Ryan and Andy could not make it this weekend, and they send their deepest condolences. I think I can speak for all of us at Co-Loop. Meg, Lauren, Noah, and Simone are all here today, that we are shattered by the loss of Adé. He was so beloved to us. In Ryan's words, and I quote, Adé helped significantly to cement the agency's foundation. We wouldn't be what we are today without his creative and personal impact, not as individuals or friends or a creative community or as a found family of like-minded souls who, on the surface, came together to form an artist management agency, but who ended up becoming so much more. As evidenced by the turnout today, Adé attracted friends like sugar attracts flies. And that's because he made time for people. He made people feel seen and heard and appreciated. Our industry can be a very competitive space, and Adé represented the very best in us. His presence, humility, and humanity were his superpowers, and he is a reminder to us that no matter what we do, creative or otherwise, it is pointless if it is ultimately not about other people. For those of you who know him through other avenues and not through the art world, let me tell you, Adé didn't talk about this much because he was so humble, but he was a really big deal. Not only was he exceptionally talented, Not only was he exceptionally gifted and prolific, he is the first Black man to do what he did and to do the work he did with such big clients. Adé was so humble about his work that he downplayed many of his accomplishments. His work and legacy will remain part of design and lettering history forever, and we are going to make sure of that. One of the things I admired most about Adé was his ability to connect with others in the most unassuming way. Adé was not someone who demanded your attention or had to center himself, except maybe when he was dancing. In fact, most of us fell in love with Adé and his bright spirit as he situated himself in the background, off to the side, in the liminal spaces between the chatter at conferences or gatherings or bike rides, in intimate conversations, in his subtle ability to make us laugh with his dry humor. Those of us close to Adé saw his serious side. When he was stressed out about work and hadn't spent enough time on his bike, he could get, well, a little grumpy. But for all those moments, he was equal parts a shining star, an extremely gifted, enthusiastic, and visionary artist, a warm-hearted, encouraging friend, an avid adventurer, a jokester, a fly dancer, and a silly goofball, as we have seen in the video. Adé left us doing what he loved almost more than anything. He was riding one of his many bikes. While I initially met Adé in the art, design, and lettering world, we became friends almost instantly, despite our 20-year age difference. And we quickly bonded over bikes and riding bikes, a passion we shared, and one that intensified as our friendship grew. My very last conversation with him happened hours before his accident, and we were discussing his procuring me a custom gravel bike. Now, I don't know if it ever would have happened, but he said, "I know people and you know people. We can make this happen." Well, the fact that we lost Adé on his bike is incredibly tragic. It's also where I believed he'd want to be. This guy loved riding bikes almost more than anything. His passion was palpable, despite being a Black guy in a sport dominated by white folks. We lived vicariously through each other's cycling adventures and on Instagram and Strava, the app we use to track our rides. We both dreamed of projects that involved the intersection of art and cycling. And just days before we lost him, he and I were scheming a mural project in Easton, Pennsylvania, commissioned jointly by the editor-in-chief of Bicycling Magazine and the Easton Mural Project. A week of painting collaborative murals and riding bikes together this coming May. And by the way, I am planning to still go and paint a mural in his honor. Adé and I have tattoos of each other's work on the very same spot on our right legs. I lettered these favorite Tupac lyrics for him. "Everything will be all right if you hold on. It's a struggle every day, gotta roll on." Adé had the tattoo put on his upper thigh so he could see it while he rode his bike. He even considered getting the letters upside down so he could read them when he was riding. I told him that was probably not a good idea. And for me, he lettered in exquisite script the phrase "terrible beautiful," which was my response to cancer when it hit me back in early 2020. The sentiment is that terrible things happen, but beautiful things grow out of them, much like the rose growing out of concrete, another life symbol that Adé loved. Last night I was discussing with Maggie, another close friend of Adé's, how it's awkward to say, "Adé would have wanted this," or "Adé so would have wanted that." But we both agreed with certainty that Adé does want us to keep going, to roll on, and to see the beauty in the terrible. In our grief, let us celebrate his life and what he created. Let us continue to bring his legacy into the future, caring for each other, making beautiful art, and working doggedly for representation in both the lettering industry and in the cycling world. Adé, we love you, and you are so missed. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lisa. We invite Simone Wilder Up next, and after Simone will be Andrew. I just don't see Andrew. I don't know how long it's going to. Okay, I see a hand. Welcome, Simone.
Sorry. I mean, like everybody's been saying, Adé is, he essentially was one black person in a really white world, in the lettering world. And I was in that world, and he worked so hard to level that playing field for us. He's the reason I know any of these people. He's the reason I make money. He's the reason that I know that I'm worth something. Yeah. He just, I mean, like everybody's been saying, no matter how little time you spent with him, he made you feel like you were the best person in that space. I'm sorry, I don't have it written down. But I mean, I'm the little quiet person in the corner, and Adé has been in my DMs since probably 2017, trying to get me to come to things, trying to include me in things, and he is the reason I'm a part of this community at all. He connected me with people. He told me, he's, save for my parents, he's probably the person who said, "I'm proud of you" more than anybody else. That's just not something he had to do, but it's something he made look easy. And I can't believe that I don't get to get on Instagram and see his stupid bike videos every day. And I'm mad that I can't bicker with him about how expensive his bikes were and how many he had. And how silly it was that he named them all women's names. But like others have said, I'm so grateful to have shared time with him on this earth. And I am the quiet person, but I know that he would, I can't say what he would want, but I know that I'm going to try to do what he did, even though he made it look so effortless, and, include people from the margins and elevate their voices. Oh man, I'm going to miss him. I hate that I can't just text him and be angry about projects with him. And I love that design was not his identity, that he was able to make pivots. I mean, to me, that just says that that's something I can do in my life if design gets boring and I hate it, which I do often. But I feel like, again, like others have said, his identity was bringing people together and building communities, and I hope that's something that we can at least do at a fraction of the level he was doing. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Simone. Love that you're sporting his design today, too. Here comes Andrew. Excited to welcome Andrew Lucas, one of his closest friends and adventure buddies.
All right. I met Adé on a charity ride that I was organizing a couple years ago. And he was the guy, quiet the whole time until we got on the bikes. And he's out there physically pushing other cyclists up a hill, going back down, doing it again, and just smiling and smiling and smiling the whole time, to the point where after the first day of this multi-ride, I went up to him and said, "Hey, would you like to help me lead this ride?" And I gave him a walkie-talkie, and his eyes just like lit up. And he's nodding like I just gave him, I think he hugged me, like I just gave him his dream job. His enthusiasm for the smallest things always marveled me. And over the years, I've learned that riding long distances on a bike with someone really showcases their true character. Around 50 or 60 miles, you're a little dehydrated, you're tired, you're usually pretty hungry, a little sunburnt, and the last thing you think when you look over at the person riding next to you is that they're going to look at you and have a big smile and say, "Andy, let's do 100 today." That was Adé. I always thought cycling was the bedrock of our relationship, but in reality, it was just a vehicle. Adé taught me, along with many others, more about myself, my career, and my happiness than anything I learned on the bike. He was always all in. If we wanted to eat burgers, we were going to make an Instagram account and a whole spreadsheet that subjectively, scientifically rated every burger. If we were going to watch a TV show, we had to binge the whole season leading up to it. If you liked the song, it was on his body, tattooed very quickly after. And like someone else said, we once rode 110 miles just to go to Culver's. He was stubborn and sure about a lot of things, but he only would ever really get mad at you if you paid him back for something. He would try to arrive at his gate seconds before the plane took off. He hated when you judged anyone. He worked harder than anyone I know for what he accomplished. He believed in himself and everyone around him, and his enthusiasm was disgustingly contagious. He liked to win, but he loved to play. Adé has an absolutely incredible family, and everywhere he goes, he seems to bring in new members. As a bunch of us rode our bikes this morning on the route that he created, I found myself realizing that I was in the midst of yet another family that he had founded. You could tell because even though it was so cold today, you could still feel his warmth. He lived more in 32 years than most people do in 80. And he will live on through the work he's created, the friends he's inspired, the impact he's ignited, and forever in my heart. Design, cycling, eating, drinking, simply getting up every day will be forever altered. But for him, we will keep on keeping on. We love you, Adé. I miss you, bud.
Thanks so much, Andrew. Next up is Vince. As his partner, I can warmly warn you there are some bad boys quotes ahead.
All right. Hi, everybody. This is a little different than practicing in our apartment, so. Woosah. Everyone do one with me, a little woosah. Ready? Woosah. Love it. Thank you for that. All right. Thank you all for being here. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here to celebrate this amazing human being. I and he appreciate that. 2 quick notes to Broderick's family, to my family. First, I love you. Second, over the past couple of weeks, I keep hearing a lot of you say thank you to his Chicago family for helping him get established and build his life here. And I just want to take a minute to say thank you to y'all. Y'all raised him and built him up into the man that came here to Chicago. Without all of you, we would have never been blessed with having him in our lives. So for me and on behalf of his Chicago family, thank you so very much. And now, for you, dog. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Vince. I had the privilege of meeting Adé back in 2015 when I started working at the same company as him, and we very quickly developed an unmatchable bond. Adé isn't like a brother to me, he is my brother. Our relationship started over talking about my accent and bloomed into something really special from that point forward. I always love hearing people comment on our relationship, how we completed each other, how they want to be in a relationship where someone loves them as much as he and I loved each other. And yeah, I could see that. I know that I never had a bond like that before. That's us, man. The kid was magnetic. Much like all of you, I always enjoyed being around him, even when he wasn't the most talkative. One of my many favorite memories with him was getting to spend some time with him in Boston. I got to take him to Fenway Park. We ate lobster rolls. We went to Pizzeria Regina's, and I took him to see the Boston Marathon finish line that I hope to one day convince him to run with me, which was not happening. It was awesome. I felt like I was on a hometown visit on The Bachelor. The thing that I loved most about that trip was that he got to meet my mother and my father. I felt like I was bringing my second brother home. Naturally, they loved him and would always ask about him when I talked to them. They felt it too. He instantly became family. Impressing my father with yo-yo tricks was just icing on the cake. One of the proudest moments I had with him, and there's a long list to choose from, was watching him speak at a creative morning session here in Chicago. Seeing him pack the room with people that wanted to see him and learn from him. Seeing him interact with so many fans and never admitting how much he liked the attention. And of course, seeing him talk about his craft and the progression of his career, it was amazing. I felt so proud of him that day. Looking back at his work, it's extremely evident that he cared so much about what he put out into the world, the craftsmanship of it, and the meaning behind it. He developed his craft by striving to get better every single day and focusing so intently on all the tiny details. All the pieces mattered. I took a quick look back at some of his work, and these phrases stood out to me because I think they speak to the type of person that he is. The rose that grew from concrete. Today, you will inspire someone. Life is boring without dating apps. Grinding all my life, beauty in the struggle, always thankful. I make Black history every day. I don't need a month. The time is always right to do what is right, which he put on an airplane, mind you. His dream lives on through us. Hold on to hope. Well, that was fun. We gonna be all right. Keep on. These all have significant and important meanings. For me, I have been especially leaning on those last few over these past couple of weeks. Well, that was fun. We gonna be all right. Keep on. Adé, thank you for making life fun. I loved laughing with you, and I definitely will still laugh about all our jokes and finish all the lines for you. I'll be checking in on you and keeping an eye out for all those signs and messages you're sending. Side note, I hope you're laughing over the amount of inside jokes and references I've been able to weave into this speech. Most importantly, I hope you know how proud I am of you and how you've impacted and will continue to impact my life and the lives of so many others. I hope I and we can make you proud of us, both in our everyday lives and also in continuing to build the legacy that you already started here. It was truly amazing to watch you live life. Your Hall of Fame in my book. I will miss you so much every single day, Bro Jangles. It was an absolute honor to be the Marcus Burnett to your Mike Lowry. I know my heart will always hurt, and it will be a struggle every day. So I'm going to take it one day at a time, because that's how time works, and because I know that you and God got us. So we're going to be all right. We just got to roll on and keep on keeping on. I love you, bro. You ain't got a dream no more. You found the ocean. Bad boys for life. Thank you.
I've always been the third wheel. Thanks, Vince. Next up, we introduce Amelia Fletcher Caristo. Caristo. Amelia, we owe her for being the one that brought Adé to Chicago, or the one that Adé followed to Chicago.
Hi, everyone. In the summer of 2012, I had been living here for a few months, and my college friend Broderick decided to come up. I said, okay, you're welcome to stay with us. How long do you think it'll be? And he said, a couple weeks. And I was like, oh, okay. And those couple weeks turned into a couple months. He had sold everything he owned to move up here with what he could fit in his car. And we were both very broke. And he slept in an air mattress in my bedroom floor. Every night the air mattress would deflate, so he was on the floor by the morning. As you all know, he really thrived here. He loved Chicago, and Chicago loves him. This poem is one of his favorites. It's been mentioned many times. Did you hear? Did you hear about the rose that grew from the concrete? Proving nature's laws wrong, it learned to walk without having feet. Funny it seems, but by keeping its dreams, it learned to breathe fresh air. Long live the rose that grew from the concrete when no one else cared. You see, we wouldn't ask why the rose that grew from the concrete had damaged petals. On the contrary, we would all celebrate its tenacity. We would all love its will to reach the sun. We are the roses. This is the concrete. And these are my damaged petals. Don't ask me why. Thank God. Ask me how.
Thank you so much. I don't see Chris. Chris, we'll give you... Oh, he's back here. Everyone clear the way for Chris. I'm excited to introduce Chris Wyatt. Chris is Adé's brother from another mother. And his friend for 26 years? How old are you guys? 27.
Woo! Wow, there's a lot of people. I got up here, I couldn't see nothing. I mean, being short, I was in the back. Now that okay. That's right. I know you should. I gotta hold something. So okay. Whew. Everybody else made this real easy on me. One of the things that I'll just kind of start with, right, is for us it's Broderick, right? So I would ask myself, right, who's Adé, right? Like, come on now, who's Adé, right? Now what's happening? Y'all just told me who Adé is, and I love that, right? Because what I just saw and heard from all of you, it really is Broderick. Whether it's talking about board games, whether it's, Amelia sleeping on that air mattress. I stayed on that air mattress. I woke up on the floor the next day. It was back in like 2013, but I was on that floor. So when Broderick first moved up here, or, just all the different stories, right? I'm seeing Broderick in each of those stories. All right. I'm going to have to read off this piece of paper, so bear with me. So Broderick, let me take y'all back to like 1997, right? A little different, 2015. We're going back. We're going back before the smartphones, before the Instagram, before the cycling, before the tattoos, right? I was there for that first one. We'll go there. So, allegedly, I was there. Allegedly. We're not going to talk about the parties in high school because Vanessa will come up here and I'm not going to talk about that. So, because we may have allegedly had one. So, I met Broderick Adé, right, in about second grade. This is hard. When his family moved from Virginia to Asheville. We ended up in the same second grade class and very quickly became friends. I think you guys see that. Put him around you, you're going to become his friend. We initially grew up on those school buses, right? The classroom, and we were 7, 8 years old. But ultimately, we grew up on the ball fields together. You know, playing baseball, riding around the county, riding around the state, and then ultimately going into middle school. Shut this up. We remained friends in middle school. I'm going to be drinking this whole time, so y'all bear with me. I'm playing baseball, playing football, right? And Z, don't think I forgot about you out there on the baseball fields. I remember you rolling down hills. As a kid, he was just like all of y'all knew him, right? He had an unassuming smile. He had a laugh, a big laugh that draws you in. He was really the type of person you wanted to be around. Maybe we didn't know it at the time, but clearly we know it now. In high school, we became very close. At the start of our junior year, his family went out of town. I don't know what happened, but their house flooded. So my family calls us and says, hey, you know what? Like, let's not put Broderick in a hotel. Y'all just send him to our house. I'm like, that's cool with me. I'm an only child, so you got to understand. You know, that was like, hey, I got somebody to live with me. This is awesome, right? So already being close friends, when my parents called, it was really easy, right? He came over, but at that point, we really became inseparable. We were already great friends, but by that, we became family. The last 25 years or so, we've really built a bond that I'll always hold very dear to me. Talking to my wife, right, I was like, what stories can I tell? I got a million stories. But my head just kind of goes to the cobwebs, right? I'm like, I can't pinpoint one. And she just, she told me, really talked about it how I think about it. For me, it wasn't so much about the big moments. We grew up together. We graduated together. I was there for his first tattoo. He was there for my first tattoos. All of the people that traveled up from Asheville, right? He was there for all of their firsts. They're way in the back. I can't see them but they're back there. But he was there for really all of our firsts. But I think what we kind of have realized that those small moments are really some of our big moments. And that's really special. To kind of just hit on a few, right? Like I remember we went out west. I'd never been to In-N-Out Burger. Everyone says, go to In-N-Out Burger. Go to In-N-Out Burger. I'm like, are you okay? I'm a Five Guys guy, so I'll tell you. So we go to In-N-Out Burger, and this is when I'm sure a few of you remember this, but Broderick had cut out red meat entirely. He calls me, he's like, hey, I'm not eating red meat. I'm like, you just did that for like 20 years, but cool. We get out there. He orders a veggie burger. We sit down, and we're outside of Vegas, and it comes with a bun and lettuce. And we looked down, and we just lost it. He was like, what is this? What is this? Well, like, I thought I was ordering, like, I don't know, bean burger or something, right? I think he got like fries and 2 milkshakes. It's 2 chocolate milkshakes, but that's a small moment to me outside of the whole trip, the skiing, the national park. That moment became a big moment for me. It's something I always think about because of just how hard we laughed. He was the best man at my wedding. I'm an ugly crier. As you can see, I cry. And he knew that. He knew that about me. So when it was time to do the vows, I think he knew he had to make it easy on me. So when it was time for the ring, I turned around. This ring. Instead, he hands me a ring pop. And I mean, I just look back. I got a picture. I look back and I get a ring pop, right? I'm like, this guy, just like, so a ring pop. It's just, and again, a small moment that became a big moment. Something from my wedding, which is a huge piece of my life, getting a ring pop from him. Or I look at the photos, I'm like, how's he got more dancing photos of my own wife than me at my own wedding? It doesn't make no sense, right? But what I will say is this. After graduation, we attended college together. We lived together another 4 years. And that was where I started to see this passion for art and design really start to pour out of him after he dropped his initial pursuit of engineering. Sorry, Ben. I was there for it, and I'm like, okay, man, but all right. But with that, right, it was as if he exploded with this creativity, with this passion that I'd never seen from him, right? In all those years, his smile became bigger. His laugh became louder. And he truly found a voice in a community that he could thrive. And I think that's all of you, right? One of the things that I've seen is growing up on those ball fields, he was always fearless, throwing his body around, probably more brave on the football field than he should have been. But that was the type of courage that when I look at it, it had a safety net, right? The wins, the losses, they didn't really matter. At the end, next day, it is what it is, right? But seeing him chase his dreams all the way to Chicago, that's something else. That's a type of courage that doesn't have a safety net. Amelia hit on it, but he left Charlotte with just dollars in his pockets. We were living together. He packed his Chevy Malibu up with what would fit and what didn't fit. He told us, hey, sell that. I don't even need the money. You guys, right? Like, we didn't give him the money. We just sold his stuff off. Desks, beds, whatever. Like, I think I pawned off the car stereo that he had on Craigslist when that was still being used in downtown. So, I mean, it's crazy. But, that became real life. And just like what I saw, just like growing up on the ball fields, just playing baseball, right? He threw everything he had in him at it to succeed. And here in Chicago, I saw Broderick grow to become Adé, right? That you all have spoken on. I don't need to talk about Adé. He really set his mind to making a difference. This, to me, was a type of brave that was meaningful to others, right? Whether it's the Alaska Airlines, different things. I mean, we're all so proud of him for that. And that's the type of courage that, I'm telling you guys, 8-year-old Broderick, different. He put good into the world, and he did so with that same unassuming smile, that big laugh that draws you in, and just the type of person that you want to be around. Love y'all. Thank y'all.
Thanks so much, Chris. We'd like to just take a moment to remind everybody we have a few different activities in the arcade room. If you haven't visited that, some beautiful things, including a memorial wall and a lettering station. So please visit there if you haven't. I did spill water right here. I want to let you know, but Ben and Vanessa or anyone else, if you'd like to come up, please feel free to do so. Also just going to take a moment while the family comes up to let you know, as we've all mentioned, this spirit is going to continue to shine really, really bright. We have set up another GoFundMe that is going to feed into a future foundation. Right now we are calling it the Broderick Adé Hogue Foundation, but we'll figure that out. There is a beautiful image of him, beautiful man, beautiful image near the front with a QR code. Or if you have any questions, you can certainly come see any of us that have spoken today. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Vanessa. I'm Broderick's mom. I just want y'all to know that I did it all by myself. I didn't need him. I did it. But first of all, I want to thank y'all so much. When I got back, hearing about the accident and calling, because I don't know if y'all was all secrets. My kids thought that I was a stalker because I was on Instagram getting to know a lot of the people that was important to him. So just asking people to be there for him during this time, everybody showed up. So when I got back to Virginia, I said, we got to outdo these Chicago family. They made us look bad. We even got, and I knew it was a new level when we got kicked out of the hospital because of white people. We do stuff on our own to get kicked out. But on Friday, they came to me and said, hey, we're not letting anybody else in. I was like, what? We were quiet, you know? But I just want to say I thank Chicago, the family, I really do, because I've always wanted him to come back home. But then when we got here and see all the love that everybody had for him, I'm glad that he made Chicago his home.
I just wrote something really short, real quick. To the world, he was known as Adé, but for the past 2 years, he was known to Cameron and I as Uncle Broccoli. She finally said it right after practicing for a very long time with Gigi, which is our grandmother in the back over here in the corner. She traveled with us. We had some practicing to do, but she finally got it right, and she was able to say it on my dad's birthday on October 19th when we did our family FaceTime birthday call to my dad. And Broderick was Broderick. He was able to hear her say it for the first time, and the smile on his face was priceless, and he melted like butter, as he always do. And it's like the cartoon character back in the day. And it was like, and he definitely did that. And I oftentimes, through the years, heard my mom said, from birth, he did things his way. And I can agree, and we all can agree that he definitely did that. My brother lived life without limitations. He touched people and humbly followed the assignment that God gave him. We had many plans with him. This Christmas was teaching Cam how to ride her bike. We bought her the balance bike last Christmas, and this year was supposed to put the pedals on it. So Vince and Andrew, Chew, Billy, wherever you are in the back, wherever, bro, you need to make a trip to Virginia. Unfortunately, Chicago gets very cold in December, bruh. We're not. We came and was like, it's not gonna snow. We got off the plane, there was some snowflakes, so we're not coming back in December. So yeah, we got some pedals, Vince, yeah, Uncle Vince, yeah, pedals need to come on in December, bruh. So y'all got some bikes to get ready for. But I want to say that I'm very proud and honored to be big sister to such an amazing man. I definitely have some things to follow. As a big sister, you feel like as the older, you're supposed to lead the way. My brother was the footprint and the blueprint. And I have some things that I need to, a legacy that I need to keep the marathon to continue. He liked Nipsey Hussle as well. Y'all, those that know Kendrick Lamar and Nipsey Hussle, that was his thing, you know what I'm saying? My mom said, he was not gangster. Yes, your son.
He was not.
Your son.
They're making him like that.
Your son. Your son was a gangster. Undercover. Allegedly. To Chicago, I know you guys say thank us. No, but we also thank you. My mother said it right. My mother was my brother's biggest fan. We call her a groupie. But honestly, to be honest, like when things happen, my mother knew who to contact, honestly, and she called it Billy. We call it. She said badass bikes. But she knew who to reach out to. We was like, we was texting. I was like, what do I call him? We call him Broderick. So I'm texting everybody, hi, this is Adé's sister. Like, I don't know who to say. But to you guys, thank y'all for loving him. Thank y'all for caring for him. Thank y'all for coming out today. We really appreciate it. So thank y'all very much. We love you guys. I have some of y'all on my Instagram and Facebook. I would like to keep in contact with y'all. So we thank y'all for coming out.
If anybody told me I would be standing here in front of all these people saying this, I would told them they were crazy. But Adé did this to me. I saw him do his first speech in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and I saw him on stage. I'm like, wow, is that my son? But I stand here to try to do him justice. First of all, I want to thank Vanessa.
I told you I did it.
She did.
Me.
There was a lot of times when, as a kid growing up, I wanted him to do the manly things, and she wanted him to do the cross-stitching things. But somehow we worked it out. Somehow we formed a great family. I talk about his days as growing up as a kid. He was a joy. I know Zenobia, she talks about in his football years. I went to all his football games.
I didn't go.
But she got upset at me because I didn't go to this game. But it was the manly thing. And I enjoyed football, I played football. And Adé was, listen to everybody talk about the kind of person he was, the kind of drive he had. I saw that too. He drove me. He made me a better person, a better father. I remember times I built decks. He built decks. He would tell me, he would challenge me to do it right. And as a father, you kind of like, this kid don't supposed to be telling me that. But he was beyond all of us, I think.
Not me.
I didn't see this life that he created here. And I just want to tell everybody here, I love everybody here. Yeah. I saw him laying there, and I didn't tell him enough on this side that I love him. But I'm going to tell everybody here that I love y'all. If y'all are a friend of his, if you cared anything about him, I love all of y'all. And the other part I'll say is to be a proud parent. I think any parent dream of having a child to follow, to listen to what they did, and to be successful. He did it and took it to a different level. Totally different level. Of course, I'm an engineer. I wanted him to be an engineer. He came to me, he's like, Daddy, I don't want to be an engineer anymore. I want to be a graphic art designer. And I kind of scratched my head, but like, okay, son, that's what make you happy. And I see what it did to him. It made him happy. It made all of these people here. So I can't be more proud of a parent than that. I'm just lost for words. Yeah. So, the only last thing I'll say, I remember, I want to tell a bad story on her. I remember when she was in labor with him.
Oh, yeah.
She reached up and grabbed me in the chest. And it's like, Ben, you did this to me. And all I got to tell her, yes, I did. And look what it produced. All of y'all as friends, family. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
I'm not going to say much because I'm a volunteer today, but I just wanted him to know that he was my first best friend. And I'm going to miss him like crazy. I know he got on my last nerve. I couldn't stand it. But I can't imagine my life without him. So I just want to thank everybody for coming out. And thank you for being here. Thank you for loving my brother the way I did. And they say we sound alike. Hopefully we don't, though, because that's kind of creepy. But just thank you all.
And she's more the Chicago family because I wanted the family to wear black. You see what she had on?
I came with the Paisleys.
And the one last thing I got to say, I'm sorry, but I'm so proud that he spelt my name and we're going to be all right. And he never told me about that, but I see it, and there's no more better honor than that. Thank y'all.
All right, so I'm gonna be real quick. I'm a cousin of Broderick's and Adé. No, let's not. Broderick was a rock star. Look at this, my goodness. But I do want to say, it's something my sister said to me, and I do want to reference it. She said that there's a lot of stuff here that she didn't know that he did, and I told her, I was like, we weren't supposed to. We were supposed to know him as Broderick, and you guys. You know, everyone has their each unique experience to what we were supposed to know him as. And that's what we're going to keep with us. And so you guys knew him as Adé, and we didn't. I mean, we knew Broderick, but we didn't know Adé. And I want you guys to just make sure y'all are holding that real close to you, okay?
Neither did a lot of us. Thank you so much for those words, Jessica, and for being there to help guide us when we were at the hospital. We really appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for these beautiful moments we've created today. Let's keep them shining bright. We love you.